Hello everyone, come on in. In today's video, we are continuing on with deep cleaning, decluttering, and organizing this kitchen. This is the third episode in my home reset series, and we are starting off in a pretty tidy kitchen. And we are just gonna go ahead and knock out these couple of dishes, since on this day, I'm one of those people who only has a few dishes in her sink. Hey! So how is everybody doing out there? I really hope that this video finds you well in your place in the world. What are you up to today? What are you getting into? I have just been keeping so busy with trying to get this kitchen done, which has been going really great. I am doing it little by little, and it's taking me quite a bit to get this done, but I would rather use my little bit of time that I have each day and do it than skip over it and try to wait for a magical day where I think I can get it all done in one day to come, because realistically, that is just not possible. Somebody still got to do dinner time, somebody still got to do bath time, bedtime, school runs, all of the things. So if you are trying to tackle big projects, maybe you can break them into smaller chunks and it won't feel so overwhelming. In order to get that angle above the sink for you guys, I had to see all the crusty dusties behind where this Farm Fresh sign is. And when I started filming me cleaning that, I definitely didn't have the camera up high enough for y'all to see. So I'm very sorry about that, but we did get that all wiped down, and now we are moving on to the cabinets. This sweet baby is my darling little string of pearls plant that has just been thriving right there at the sink, and it's actually so long that it touches the bottom of the sink, and I've already had to raise the pot and tie the strings shorter so that it would hang up higher. And I am going to eventually have to move it and put it somewhere where it has more room, but I want an opinion. Should I repot it? Because I do have another pot. I think I'm gonna have to. I think I need to repot it, but I'm kind of scared that I'm gonna mess it up when I do. But anyway, that's just me talking about how I don't know plants. This string of pearls plant that you see here is the same age as the other one, and it has been waiting for me to put it in a bigger pot for so long. Bless its sweet little heart. I'm finally doing it. And I definitely need to get some more potting soil because I didn't quite have enough to fill this to the top, but she is doing so much better now. If you are new here, I do not speak plant, but I am trying very hard to learn, and I love my succulents and my cactuses because they are very low maintenance. If it can't jump up and scream at me, then I might forget about it. I snagged these cute little heart risers at the Target dollar spot for $5, and I had a different idea for what I was going to do, but it ended up not working out. This pot was just a little too big for me to stand the plant right here with me, so we are going to move it somewhere else. And I'm gonna put my hanging pot back here for the time being. It's not gonna stay here forever, but for now, this is just stunning. And now we are gonna move over to this window. It's over back behind the fridge, and it's kind of like the little nook area where the kids hang out, and it's where I call them in from outside. So we are just going to wipe this all down, and this is where the other plant is going to end up going. I don't know what the attraction is about this window, but the kids love to sit by it, and they'll have snacks and play on their tablet or whatever, and so it's kind of gets grimy and dirty and nasty, and I really need to repaint the bottom board at least. And on this day we were getting so much rain, giving all the cozy vibes. Now these little flowers are from my bigger arrangement, and Wade decided he wanted his own flower in a vase, and so he has one that I gave him, and then the smaller one is one he decided to get for himself. And a medicine cup works perfect as a vase for those little flowers. But snagging this last cup of coffee, and we are going to move on to these cabinets. I don't know, I think I like to do some pretty things before I get into the nitty-gritty dirty things when I start my cleaning, so the plant is what served for that purpose. But now we are just going to empty everything out of this cabinet. This is where I keep plates, bowls, and we also keep all of like the kids' lunch Tupperware type stuff, and there's some other extra Tupperware that I keep up here. And then we're also going to get the top of these cabinets real good too. It's just a little bit of dust since the last time that I cleaned up there. And yeah, we're not going to worry about these liners in these cabinets because I mentioned in my last video, at some point these are getting ripped out of here. So we are just going to make do with what we got and make sure that it's clean and organized. Cheers, babe. I had covered these dishes with these towels just to prevent any dust from getting on them, and it ended up working out pretty good because there was some dusty stuff going on. And so now I'm just going through to see what I can declutter. Basically, all it's going to be are the little thermoses and some lids that didn't have matching containers. And that's about it. I have been pretty good about keeping the kitchen decluttered as far as when it comes to the dishes and things, simply because we just don't have the space for everything. And here is everything I was able to declutter from that cabinet. Now we are going to move on to these drawers, the silverware drawer, the utensil drawers. They are yucky and they really need cleaned out. And so we are going to get all of this out of here and get it fresh and clean. I have really been enjoying all of the progress that I have made so far in this kitchen, like underneath the sink. That has just been a dream to work with since I've gotten that done, and that was in the last video, so if you missed it, make sure you go check it out. I will link the playlist in the description below, and I will try to add the videos at the end of this video so that you guys can go straight there if you want to check those out. Anyway, I just have been really enjoying this process and making everything in here just the way that I want it. But I'm sure that just like me, you guys are about ready to get out of this kitchen, and I promise you that we are going to be getting out of this kitchen. I do have one more kitchen video coming for this, and then we will be moving on to other places, and we probably won't be back in the kitchen for quite some time. But back to this drawer, I was able to declutter a lot of medicine cups and a lot of little other odd and end things like the little cupcake rings. You see I have a collection of those there. And so I ended up taking the holiday ones. I had some for New Year's and some for the fall, and putting those away with my holiday stuff and relieving this drawer a little bit so that when I break out that decor, I will find them. Now I'm drying off all of these little compartments as best as I can, but if y'all know what I mean, they're just still not dry, and I want to wait till they're absolutely, positively bone dry before I put them back in the drawer. So now we're going to move on to the next drawer. This one is for all of my first-hand utensils that I reach for, I think, maybe, that are not on top of the counter. And so, yeah, look at these containers. Crusty and dusty. So while I wash these up, I thought we could do a little story time. So my last video, we talked about how much I love music and how I'm a big advocate for music and that I think it heals and I love it so much. Well, I never told y'all why. I mean, it's pretty much ingrained in my DNA, but I never gave you guys any backstory on it, because there is a backstory on it. So when I was little, I have always loved music, and in my head, I was a singer and dancer and performer. So when I was really little, my great aunt owned a bar. And I'm not going to be fancy and try to call it something else like a restaurant or whatever. It was actually called a restaurant, but it was a bar. It was a bar. Anyway, that place was so cool. And I didn't really hang out there when it was rough and rowdy or anything. I would be there during the day when there was like nobody in there. And my aunt, we would play in the booths. We would get on the bar stools and spin around. And my aunt, she would make us chocolate milk. It was always so freaking good. I don't know how she did it. But anyway, they had a jukebox in there. And every song on that jukebox was like your old country western music, except for one. And I don't know. I'm just telling you guys this story because I think it's fun. But anyway, so like the old timers, the old men would be in there, and there'd be one or two sitting in there eating breakfast or something. And they'd say, "Here you go, pretty girl. Here's you a quarter, or here's a couple quarters." I don't even remember what it was then. But anyway, I would always go play the jukebox. And for some reason at that time, I was just completely against country and western music. And so I would always play the only song on there that was not country and western, which was Aerosmith's "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing." And that's kind of how it all began for me, I feel like. Like, that's as far back as I can remember for my love of music. Of course, now I've come to appreciate country music and actually love it a lot. Well, I go through phases. Right now I'm more in a hip-hop, pop phase, but I love all kinds of music. And then once I started school, I really was into music class. I really paid attention and I loved it. And eventually it became chorus, and when it was time that I could choose classes, I was always in chorus. I was always in choir. And in high school, I was actually in show choir, and that was the time of my life. I think that was probably my most fond high school memories outside of school, like actually in school, was being in show choir. I got to go to King's Dominion with chorus a bunch of times. It was so much fun. And I also got to go to see Wicked, the Broadway show, in Philadelphia. And that's the only time that I've ever been there. And oh my gosh, you guys, if you can ever go see a Broadway show, it doesn't have to be Wicked, but go, because that is an experience. I am telling you, I will never forget it. But of course, outside of that, when I was in elementary school, I fell in love with the Spice Girls, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, and then of course when Britney came along, it was over. I was doing Britney Spears music videos out in my neighbor's front yard on the daily. But now everything that's left, we are going to put away. Those knives I am actually going to donate because we never use them. And these items I'm going to put up here in my party cabinet. We're just going to call it the party cabinet and save those for when we need them in the future. But now to move on to this last final bottom drawer. This is where I would usually keep my dish towels, but you saw in the last video we moved them to underneath the sink. And so now we are going to revamp this drawer and store some different things here. And you're going to have to keep watching if you want to see the surprises that I find behind this drawer. So as I was cleaning, I spotted the red cutting board that I had that slipped back here. I spotted it back there. See it there? And then I didn't know that black mat was under there, but that was under there too. And eek! I don't think I've ever been under this drawer. So we are going to clean this out as best as we can. It's really not finished. So, and you see there's like a lot of the spray foam insulation everywhere. Don't even get me started on the baseboards under these cabinets. Don't even get me started. We don't want to talk about it. But yeah, so we're going to clean this out as best as we can. I feel like I got rid of a lot of odors in this because it was stinky in here, and yeah, embarrassing, but it happens, guys. This is real life. My vacuum really wasn't cutting it. It was just too awkward to try to get in here, so I brought my little hand sweeping broom thing. Hand broom? Is that a hand broom? I don't know. We're sweeping it. And then when I make a pile, I suck it up with the vacuum. Okay, so everything you see here is what I want in that bottom drawer. And if you remember, the dog food bowls and the kettle were left over from the last video. I hadn't found a home for them yet. That's because I wanted to put them here. As well as that little coffee maker. And I decided to bring the magic bullet over here as well. And that ended up working out because the little coffee guy didn't fit. So we put the coffee guy over in the other drawer under the coffee pot where the magic bullet was. And so it worked out. And I didn't get to show you guys my nifty little trick I do here for under my sink, putting the little rack underneath of my bins. I love when this little counter space is clear because it makes my kitchen look 10 times bigger for whatever reason, but 99% of the time it's not clear. But let's get those gorgeous after shots, because from this cabinet all the way over, we are completely done deep cleaning and organizing, and I will catch you guys picking right back up on the next section of the kitchen in the next video. I really hope that you enjoyed watching this today and that it motivated you to get the things done. And please remember to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for coming over today and spending your time with me. Take such good care of you. Bye.